guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I'm going to be showing you some toning techniques and some of my signature balayage techniques, so stay tuned. So my first client here, she majority has pretty much virgin hair and just some like old highlights on the ends of her hair. So she's wanting to go more of an overall solid end balayage look. So I'm going to go ahead with my signature balayage technique. With this technique, I like to take these first few sections on the bottom of the hairline to be nice and chunky, because this, when she pulls her hair forward, that's where she's going to see the hair that kind of frames around her face. So I like to make sure that these pieces are super solid, and I like to just do a chunky weave because it saves me time opposed to if you're teasing, and there I can afterwards like blend out these chunky highlights with the root shade. So I'm not too worried about the chunkiness of these, but doing a chunkier weave, you can see more ribbons of color opposed to if you were doing a slightly smaller weave. So that for her next appointment, I will be weaving the dark pieces that I left out this appointment, and overall she will eventually become more solid on the ends. So this is typically what it looks like once I'm done foiling all of my clients. I usually don't leave much space in between each section. In the back, especially where I need that to be super solid, I like to take my time and just make sure that I'm doing foils back to back to maximize the amount of color that is there. I'm gonna use this for the root, and then this is gonna be like the transition like mid shade because she has like a curtain bang, and then we're gonna go into this lighter color right here for that nice ashy blonde. So I'm gonna go in and mix up 3 toners here, and the reason why I'm mixing up 3 toners is I want to use that new toning technique, which I call the halo technique, and you'll see because of the sectioning that I take. And the reason why I'm doing this is because she has like a curtain bang that we need to blend out, because I feel like if I would have just done a shadow root like I normally do with just 2 toners and like maybe like a shadow root that's an inch, it might have looked a little weird with her bangs being like light into the other color. So she was just concerned with that. So I decided to do this technique where I'm melting these colors at the very top so that her bangs have a nice dark tone that transition into the lighter tone. Here you can see I lifted her to a nice level 9 for this color, and I just shampooed and conditioned and then brushed out the hair while the conditioner was in, rinsed out, and now I'm towel drying. I like to make sure that the hair is fully brushed out before applying any type of toner so that I make sure that the color is going on evenly. So now I'm going in with 603 from the Liquid Demis, and when I like to shadow root, I like to start where they part the hair because I want that part to have the darkest for this darkest tone for the root shade. And I didn't section out her hairline because we're going to be trying to blend out her curtain bangs there, but normally if a client doesn't have curtain bangs, I would probably section out that hairline and tone that hairline last. So after I'm done applying the root shade, I like to brush out the hair, and then I will apply the mid toner, which is 7.0 and 7.8 from the Liquid Demi line. And when I apply this, I like to section out the hair and only apply this on the very top crown halo section of the head so it doesn't drag on to where I want the lightness. And I'm only doing this because she was concerned about her curtain bang being too light. So this is a perfect technique if you're wanting to do more of an ombre technique or if your client has bangs. So once I'm done applying the mid shade, I will go in with the lighter shade, and here I'm using 9-2, and this is going to be going over all over through the mids and ends. And there you can see in the back I didn't apply the mid shade there. I'm just going in with the lighter shade, melting that into the darker root shade previously, and that's so when she brings her hair forward, all of that lightness will show on her mids and ends. As I'm toning and getting closer to the front, I like to take these front sections vertically across the head so that the color gradually gets lighter towards the hairline. And then one of my favorite parts is to see the toner processing. So you can there see the 9-2 getting to a beautiful ashy blonde. And this is the after. This is how it looked right after I had blow dried it before I curled it. And this is the after of what it looks like curled, and there you can see all the beautiful dimension in her hair and how her ends look majority solid. And can we just take a second to say how conditioning and shiny the liquid demis make the hair look? It just looks super soft and buttery, and the melt with these products are incredible. It gives me the perfect melt and I never see harsh lines. I'm just in love with these toners. So this next client of mine was looking to go more of a overall lighter look, and she had a lot of warmth in her hair. So I just went in and balayaged her hair with back-to-back foils, and there you can see how warm her hair is. So I did these pretty close together and more solid so that it would overpower the warmth because we weren't going to be low lighting. So here I'm going in and toning her with the Pulp Bright Liquid Demis, and her root shade toner is 703. And then on the mids and ends, I'm going to be toning her with 92 and 90 to give her more of an ashy look. And there I sectioned out her hairline so that I could tone that last. So again, I'm just applying this root shade where my client parts her hair and then working my way towards the back. And I like to do this because I want the top to be the darkest there when blend in with her roots. And when I apply the root shade toner, I like to take each section pretty far back behind the ear so that I'm able to cover more ground and save time when applying these toners. And here's the finished result of this balayage, and there you can see some of the warmth that I still left out since we didn't low light her hair there, but overall she looks pretty nice and ashy and feeling a lot blonder than she was coming in. So this next client of mine is wanting to go blonder, so we're going to work on touching up her roots there with her regrowth, and then everything that is left out of the foils I will be balayaging to get her overall a lot blonder. So whenever I touch up on any balayage or highlights, I like to weave and pick up the dark pieces that I left out previously. That way overall, as she's coming in, her ends are staying solid. And of course, here again, you can see when I weave the nape of the neck, I like to keep this part more on the thicker side. And then as I work my way towards the top and front, I will make smaller weaves. Another reason why I like to weave the back section a little bit more chunky so that I'm able to see the dark a little bit easier and pick up these pieces a little bit faster, because the back tends to have majority of the hair and I want to get through this as quickly as possible before I get to the front. So here you can see the lightener that I had applied on her mids and ends while her foils were in, and there I just used Blonde AF and 10 Vol, and it definitely got her a lot lighter, and now she's ready to rinse. So this was her after. I had toned her roots with the Liquid Demi line, and I used 703 for the root, and then on the mids and ends I did 91, 92, and some clear to create a nice bright and ashy blonde for her. So really quick, I want to give a comparison of what the color looked like compared to on my camera and my iPhone, and this is what it looked like on my Sony. And then this is what it looked like on my iPhone. So you can see that there's like slight tone changes, but overall they're pretty similar. I think the iPhone made the hair look a little bit more white than in person. I feel like the Sony kind of captured what it looked like really in person, but also this is indoors in front of a window. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. So this next client is my best friend Kathy, and she had all virgin hair. She had grown out her last color, and I honestly haven't colored her hair in about like 2 or 3 years. It's just been so long, and she was wanting to go of like an ashy blonde balayage. So I went ahead and did my signature balayage foliage technique here to try and get her as light as possible. And as I did that top section there, after this one, I definitely weaved it a little bit thinner so that it would blend in with her roots a little bit nicer. And then as I was lightening her hair and I worked my way towards the front, I had noticed that some of the foils, I didn't get this on film, but some of the foils were actually like leaking, and when this happens, it's because there's like mineral buildup in the hair, and the mineral buildup can be from like their shampoo or the hard water from where they're showering, like the pipes in their house or whatnot. So that rarely happens to me, but when it does, I try to just watch the hair and make sure that it's still intact and feels good, which hers definitely did, but we definitely weren't able to get her as light as she had wanted because I wanted to rinse it out. It was just kind of like dripping everywhere, so we rinsed it out and opted for a slightly darker color. So this was her hair after, and I had toned her roots with 603 and 703, and then on the mids and ends I toned her with 92 and 90, and it created this nice neutral slight warm blonde. There you can see that the toner didn't fully tone some of the parts there because we had to wash out those foils a little bit quicker, but overall it gave a nice like neutral like slight warm blonde, which she still liked a lot. And you know, sometimes things happen unexpectedly when you balayage the hair, and you just have to explain to your clients what's happening at that point. And at this point it was just the mineral buildup. You could totally see it when the lightener was reacting to it, but we still made it work, and she still loved her hair, and we're still able to get a little bit lighter. But it's always good to mention something like this in the consultation, that you might not be able to get as light, just in case there is mineral buildup in the hair, because she did have virgin hair to start with, so it wasn't like she put color on it and then it wasn't able to lighten. So you never know, it could be like the shampoo that they were using, or like any other product, or even the hard water like it was for this one. But definitely I would always like mention this in a consultation to set expectations on what kind of colors they were willing to do. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next week in my next transformation.